Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. This is Scott and this is the evening after Thanksgiving dinner. What you're looking at here is what's left of the turkey. There's two carcasses in there. There's drumsticks, there's wings, there's thighs. All the pieces that people didn't eat that were a part of the turkey are in here, the skin and everything else. And what we're doing is that we are going to boil this down. We're going to cook it for a day, maybe a day and a half. And what that'll do is that'll loosen up all the meat so we can debone the turkey off the bones. And then what this will really make is a great broth. And so we'll take it out, we'll pull some of the meat out, and then we will strain it and it'll turn it into turkey broth. It's already pre-seasoned because of all the spices that were in the turkey when it was cooked. And we'll strain it into broth, and then we'll put it in 1 gallon Ziploc bags and we'll freeze it. And then later on in the winter, if we want to make a quick soup, we'll have the broth ready. It's usually, by the time we cook it down, we typically get anywhere between 2 and 4 gallons of broth, which will last us pretty much through the winter. So don't throw those carcasses away, and don't throw the pieces that people didn't eat. Like our family, no one really likes the drumsticks or the wings, and so we take them and we cook them down and we use them up, and boy, it makes some good soup. Anyhow, I will create another video later on as we get further in the process, but this is what it looks like when we first get started. We're just heating it up now for the first time. So that's all I got, so we'll talk to you later. All right, so here we are, Friday morning. We're continuing to render what's left of the 2 turkeys we had down into soup broth. And if you see how we're doing it, if you look at the bubbles in the soup stock, that's about what you want. You don't want it to be a rolling boil, but you just want it to simmer gently, and that will, slowly leach all the good flavor out of the stuff. That dark brown stuff you see is the turkey skin, and we put the turkey skin in there too because it gets some of the fat out. Also too, when the turkey is seasoned, they rub the seasoning onto the skin. So what we're doing is we're also simmering the skin to get the seasoning off of that to help flavor the broth. Like I said, we'll be doing this most of today, maybe even into tomorrow. And then the next step will be to turn it from a stock pot into a broth pot. So just a quick snippet. We'll just keep you updated as we go along. We'll see you. Hello everyone, and we're back, and we are now at the Turkey Broth Project Part 2. As you can see, the liquid level is far down on the pot, and that's because we've cleaned out a lot of stuff that was in there. We still have to strain it before we get the final broth, but you can see all that goodness in there. That's where all the flavors come from. Okay, this is what came out of the pot. If you look, you see bones, you see skin, some vegetables, some meat, some more over here. This is what was left of 2 turkeys, and we still had some meat that we can have for leftovers, but this is it. This is what the carcasses look like when they're boiled down. All the meat falls off the bone and all the bones separate, and it just becomes bits and pieces. As an example, this one here still has some meat on it. We'll debone that later. What's going to happen next is 2 things. One is we will go through these 2 bowls and we will pick the meat out, and some of that meat is what we will put back in later for turkey soup, maybe some of the vegetables too. The rest we'll throw away. Going back over here, what will happen here with the broth is we will strain it 2 more times, maybe more. Once through a, have to excuse me, once through a strainer like this, and then maybe once again through this and some cheesecloth. So at the end of the day, what we'll have is just the broth and all that good flavor. From there, we'll take some of it and we will actually make soup. We'll make a soup out of this, which we'll eat over the next couple days. And then some of it we will put in gallon Ziploc bags and we will freeze it for use later on in the winter. Like I said, for us, when it comes to Thanksgiving, nothing goes to waste. We eat it all. So I'll report back when we get to the next steps. All right, everybody, we're back again. I'm here with my wife, Mary. Say hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Okay. And this is the next step. What we've done is this is all the big pieces that we've taken out of the pot where we've boiled down for the broth. And what we're doing now, what this is actually going to be for the dogs. And so what Mary's doing now is she's going through and she's making sure there's no little bones in there for them to choke on. Now, we're not going to put the bowl on the ground and just let them have at it because that'll make them sick. But what we can do with this is we can add it to their regular meal over a period of a couple days, and they'll think it's a treat. They'll get some good nourishment and they'll enjoy it. So that's for them. So this is probably 4 or 5 pounds of meat that those dogs are going to enjoy. All right, looking over here, this is a pile of the leftover stuff. This is the skin. This is some of the veggies. It's a lot of the bones, a lot of the cartilage. Over there is a wishbone. Here is another pile of the bones. Like I said, this is the bones and the skin and the pieces we don't want to use from 2 turkeys. And then this over here is the meat that we're going to reuse as part of the soup. This was on some of the bigger pieces, some of the legs, maybe some of the thighs, and then some of that was on the carcass itself. But these bigger pieces we're going to keep, and we're going to reincorporate it back into the soup when we make soup. So really, this is a great utilization of the turkeys. Everybody gets a little. This is what's left. What will happen with this is we'll strain her down 1 or 2 more times, and then we'll get ready to put it away. So just a quick update of what we're doing. It's a little bit tedious, but like I said, the dogs get a treat, and I'm sure they won't mind. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so here we are back yet again. Here is our pot of broth. What we did is we refrigerated overnight. I didn't take a picture of this, but what that allowed is it allowed the fat to solidify and rise to the top. And so we skimmed it off with spoons, and that's all the fat that came off the top of the broth. And so what we're doing now is we are warming up the broth again. We're going to make it just slightly warm, and then we'll give it a stir, and then we're going to pour it through this colander to get the first straining done with it. This will get all the big pieces out, and then we'll go back through and use a smaller sieve. We figure this is going to make 4 or 5 quarts of broth, which should be good. No, I'm sorry, my wife says 4 or 5 gallons. And so that'll be a lot of broth for us. That's typically when we make homemade soup, we use about 1 gallon of broth. So that's 5 nice hearty winter soups that we can make. Now, the last time we talked, we were going over the deboning the chicken after we boiled the broth, and this is what was left. Lots and lots of small pieces. And again, we did the same thing. We packed it all into Ziploc bags and we put it in the refrigerator. And now tonight what we're doing is we're going to spread it out. We're going to pat it dry. And then this time what we're going to do is we're going to put it in our dehydrator. This is an Excalibur dehydrator. We've had it for years, works well. And what this is going to become is doggy treats. Our dogs love freeze-dried or dried turkey or chicken for training treats. So you can break them up into smaller pieces, and they go nuts over them. They, anything you buy in the store, once they've had this, forget it. They don't want anything else. So we'll check back in a little bit later. We'll see you. All right, back again. Sorry for all these little quick shorts, but sometimes this is just a four-handed job and no room for the camera. So what we've done now is we have taken the broth and we put it through just a standard kitchen strainer, and as you can see, it's taken all the little bits out. What we're going to do from here is we'll take the stuff that's already strained, and we're going to put that 1 gallon Ziploc bags. We're going to lay them flat and then freeze them. So we'll catch you again. All right, last little bit here. There's as you can see, we've got the broth all bagged. We have a total of 5 gallon bags. There's not quite a gallon in them, but we got 5 bags full. We're going to freeze them, and then as we need them, we'll break one out and thaw it out and use it. Over here, our old dehydrator is full of the turkey bits that we're making doggy treats out of, and all the shelves are full. And so in about 8 hours, we'll have enough turkey treats for the dogs for training for a year. They don't need, when you're training them, they just need a little bit. Now what's nice about these dehydrated bits or these freeze-dried bits that you can buy in the store is you can break them off into smaller pieces so your dog doesn't get a full belly too soon and not want to train anymore. The interesting part is when I was getting Obi trained, the trainer was using boiled chicken and freeze-dried chicken, and once he had a taste of that, all the treats I bought him in the store, he would just ignore. He would turn his nose up to them. So this is probably a more economical way, boiled chicken or dried chicken. So hopefully, like I said, in about 8 hours, this will be ready. We're going to get these into the freezer tonight. By tomorrow, they'll be frozen, and then we can use them at will. So I hope everybody was able to pick something up. We were just sharing what we do with the turkey after Thanksgiving. We try to use as much of it as we can. We are grateful for all that the Lord has given us, and we try to make use of those blessings. All right, final installment. Here is our broth, frozen in a Ziploc bag inside the freezer. We have it on a cookie sheet so they'll lay flat, but now we can take them out and stack them any way we want. So that's between 4 and 5 gallons of broth. And then looking over here is our dehydrated turkey. And just to let you know, let's give it the taste test here. This is Buster. Sit, Buster. All right. Well, that is Buster approved. Opie. Come on, Opie. All right. Now, let's see if it's Opie approved. Easy, easy, easy. Yes, he as you can see, he likes it. So that's all we got. Stay safe and stay secure. We'll see you.